I used to live there.
Really?
Yes, and it had a post office and a school and a store, but of course the store is closed, the post office closed, and the school is closed. And what we were trying to do was get a community hall, but that didn't happen either. And now it's just a deserted place. Nothing really happens there.
We're doing a project working to take all people's ideas and then to put them into something positive. And it's breaking down those barriers. We were especially thinking of young and old, how we can get people to mix better or to understand each other better, to look at funding in the future, but also to make sure these ideas go to the right people so that they can make change if they can.
Get a community hall. It would help Tilling Green to organise things in the actual Tilling Green estate. We can organise tea dances for those people that can actually get a mate, not only us that can sit a mate, but they can listen to the music as we can.
We could have a wish drive.
You could get a youth club or something going out there for the teenagers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you noticed the difference in the estate since the school's closed? It seems to be quieter.
Yes, I have noticed, and you know, it's because there's no children here, isn't it? No, they're not in the school and they're not in the playgrounds. It's just so quiet, you know. It's just as if we haven't got any children around at all. You know, there was a time when you could hear them. You could hear them in the playgrounds, and you miss that. It's the sounds that sort of became normal for you to hear every day.
And of course, the other thing I noticed is this empty boarded up building, it's been very respectfully treated. Nobody's been in there and damaged the building. There's no graffiti. It's quite astronomical to think that building's actually costing money to keep it as it is,
right,
completely redundant
Yeah.
and unused, and that's a great shame, and that is a real shame, and it shouldn't be.
And it was really upsetting to see it go, because it was like one of the main part of this, like what makes Tilling Green.
It would be nice to have like a youth club or something, parties or youth club or just different things, maybe coffee mornings.
Yeah.
Coffee mornings where you can buy a cup of tea and a biscuit and sit down for a good hour and have a chin wag about what's going on around you in your community.
What do you think?
We do need a community centre here, Dad, so that everybody can get and mix in, because nobody really knows anybody else on this estate apart from you. Next door neighbours.
Gets young and old people together who don't know each other from Adam, but they get to talk, have coffee, get to know each other and not be scared of each other whilst walking down the street.
Yes, there are quite a number of people on the estate though who are lonely, and you know, it's difficult to encourage them to actually go far, but you know, if there was a place nearer where they could just go, if it's just up the road, you know, often people might think that they might just be able to do that, and particularly perhaps if they could meet some of their friends from the estate that they don't normally see.
I would say that this centre, if it was regenerated or relaunched, as we're suggesting, would look into this sort of visiting and individual one-on-one service, because it would be a marvellous place to kick it off. And of course, as I mentioned before, the community transport is very active and just very willing to dive in and cart people hither and yon, and would certainly cooperate fully. So I think this scheme could really give this a boost. I would look forward to getting old enough to be visited.
And I know several ladies who just don't go out anywhere, and they do just look at their four walls day after day, and of course the television, but they don't have much conversation with anybody. Because I'm aware of my neighbour, sometimes I know that he really does struggle with looking after his wife, and because most of the time he's there with her on his own, and he just likes people to pop in and see him, for him to talk to as well. So there's the carer as well as the cared for that we need to consider.
I mean, it's not healthy to be on your own indoors with no contact with other people and not doing anything positive. And there's lots of people, lots of agencies, lots of organisations out there are only too willing to get involved and get local people involved and bring them together and do some really quite exciting, positive things.
Tilling Green has had a central focus of Tilling Green School, and we at the church have been working for some time now within that school setting to assist in having some services and some organised activity, more recently the craft events in the Tilling Green School. But sadly, now that the school has shut, that has meant that we have no central focus.
Hello then, I'm Jim Hollands. I'm the editor of Rhizome magazine. I was born on, or close to the estate, and I was brought up on the estate there, but I remember it being built, so I do know about it. We lived at number 2 Mason Road, which was the first house on the estate, and when I moved there was just a few houses down Marley Road and up Mason Road. So what Tilling Green really needs now is a proper community centre. There's 1,500 or possibly as many as 2,000 people live on the estate, which is probably almost 2/3 of the Ryes population. So they do need something there. The old people have a job to get up to the town. They've lost their post office now. Nothing goes on over at the estate. There's 2 little shops and that's it. So things need to be done. But the Tilling Green School is a very fine building. Nothing wrong with it at all. So why don't we use that one as the community centre? It's got a proper hall with a stage, it's got all the facilities that you could need there, room for a canteen, everything you can think of there. Separate classrooms for different things that go on, lots of activity to go there, and it's ready and waiting. It's all boarded up. So this is an opportunity that shouldn't be missed.
I don't know why we haven't got a football team on Tilling Green.
Tilling Green, you know it.
Yeah, why not?
Basically, I've put on some football courses in conjunction with the Amicus Horizon and Rotherham District Council, and I actually used the field where we're looking now for some of the football courses, and I think it would be a great facility there for maybe have a local community centre where all the children and all the adults could stay. Also, maybe we could have a facility in the side, maybe an Astro sort of pitch of some description, 3rd generation or something like that, that could be used by all the children in the area, not just for football, but for netball, cricket, rugby, hockey, everything.
Incorporate that along with maybe a community centre or some sort of youth centre. I think it would be fantastic for the area. That would really generate some sort of interest and get the kids actually something that they'd be proud of. That's really what we're looking for, and then everybody could all pull together. I think it'd be a great opportunity.
We could have classes, you could have fetes, you could have things for young people to do, things for elderly people to do, courses. We were saying about teaching single
men
to cook.
I think sometimes the young people, they don't always want something organised. They like to be able to just go into somewhere and meet with their friends, to chill out as they call it now, I think, and just have a drink and be able to sit and chat.
We just chill out in each other's houses really, go out, play football, but in the winter we can't really do anything anymore, so
we're just in all the time.
The sporty kids, so you want somewhere to go and play a sport?
At least it would bring amusement to the estate.
Yeah.
I don't know about everyone else, but I feel quite bitter towards it because we've lost the post office, the school, cash machine, even cash machine.
I mean, and they just put all this cash machine in as well.
What a waste of money, though.
It was an absolute waste of money.
We don't have anywhere to go with the kids.
There's nothing to do.
Nothing
Nothing
to
to
do.
do, no activities.
Even the shops are suffering because of the post office, because you don't tend to go to use the shops.
In dry area, there's nothing at all, especially for the kids. There's nothing. You can see the kids hasn't got nowhere to go in the evening. So after, when they are on holidays, the whole day is wasted on the roads because they haven't got a community centre to go and do something.
We need stuff for the kids. We need a youth club or football club because the school only had 20 centre.
Bring the community back together.
Play football, play sports in it or something.
Table games like pool or something. All the activities. Yeah, like acting and dance clubs and stuff. Yeah, it would be quite fun to go there and wouldn't have to go that far if it was like in Tilling Green or something.
A community thing would be nice to go to, like a boys' club.
So we got a group of us together on a Saturday morning and we prepared crafts, which did take a lot of time for the people in the background. But what we did was we used a group of different ages, from teenagers to young mums to elderly, so that you have a mix of people going to mix with the youngsters from the Tilling Green area.
One of the focuses we found, because what we found was useful, was it got families together.
Yes.
It got families coming out and doing stuff together. And what we, in our experience at Tilling Green, and as you say, in present day climates as well, there's a lot of need for families to be able to be encouraged to be together and do things together. And we found that that was very popular and very successful, those sort of things. And the school was marvellous. You know, it was such a good place to do it in, you know, situation-wise. What we found that in reality, people don't tend to put themselves out to go off-site.
Yes.
You know, if they're in the community, what we found is when we put things on in the community, they will come.
Definitely.
But if for some reason we've not been able to do it and we've had to go to a venue in the town or even here, we found that they don't come.
Government policy on how near this sort of community help should be, and I'm learning now that it's bordering on scandalous that a place like Tilling Green is pretty large and has got absolutely nothing down there.
Just imagine there must be some knock-on effects as well in terms of health and benefit and welfare, because if people are seeing each other and if people are much more community and are much more aware of each other, surely people are going to pick up on problems sooner rather than later. And in the long term, that must benefit the health services and the welfare services and all those
Yes, of
sorts
course,
of things.
yeah. You could easily incorporate a parenting course either for men or women. You can have them as couples in parenting courses, but you can also expand that slightly and do the cooking side as well, so that they have a session, they do some cooking together, and then we eat together.
The things that tend to get the most favour are the ones that offer facilities for social skills. So, for example, parenting courses.
Yes.
The government is very keen on those. We've run one or two here,
yeah.
but again, our facilities are limited. And if they could be done, I mean, the ones we run are government recognised and government approved. If they could be done in a community centre on Tilling Green, we'd have a lot more.
If Tilling Green had a community centre, I believe that the youngsters will be able to maybe have a youth club. The older folk could have a bingo or a whist drive. It would be the centre which would be enable them to have a cup of tea and a chat. Anything, lunches, meals on wheels service, absolutely anything could be there, because it could go centrally and people could walk on from the estate into this community centre. That centre really is needed to be a heart of Tilling Green, so that the people of Tilling Green have somewhere to go, somewhere to meet, somewhere to talk over their problems. Because at the moment, even to go to a doctor's, they've either got to walk into Rye or they've got to go to the top of the other hill, which is rather a long way for the elderly.
Well, our doctors has spent £9 million up there, up on the hill, you know, up by the hospital. It's a nightmare to get up there. Yeah. All people on there, I mean, I was up that doctor and I came down here thinking, good, I can't make it.
It really would be the heart of Tilling Green to enable it to have a community centre base.
Yeah.
A community centre
yeah,
to
so then you
go
can like have places to go. Yeah, things to do and places to go.
What sort of thing?
Clubs, I don't know, craft
Like
days
games
and
stuff. Like when there's nowhere to go. Like we never go anywhere because there is nowhere to go. And then we just get moaned at for loitering around people's houses and they think that we're bad.
Imagination. However, a lot of the young people that I've dealt with are really good kids. They're really good kids. The problem is, and it's not anybody's fault, but they don't mix into different organisations.
Courts where you can do anything in it, like cricket, netball.
Oh yeah, because that's got
Hockey,
field in it anyway.
Yeah.
Tilling Green, it's got a big field in it. But like, what's that going to be turned into? Houses?
Apparently it's supposed to be turned into houses, but we don't really want it into houses.
Yeah,
We'd
no.
rather have a community
There's too many
centre.
houses.
These houses, they like build so many houses.
Well, where
Is it like
Oh, would it be well good if they had a youth club?
Yeah. Like, and then we can like, do like lots of different stuff like dancing and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Catwalk. Yeah, catwalk. Or like do fashion play or something. That would be well good.
Yeah.
Or something for the boys, because I'm like, come on, like football or something.
Yeah, then we do cheerleading.
Yeah. That would be well fun. I hope they do. Because like, I'm not even fun. It's like actually nothing to do except for sit at the station.
That's pretty boring.
Outside the kebab shop. Internet cafe. You can have an internet cafe in there.
My own feeling would be that an internet cafe would have a limited use, but if you had computers there, you could have computer classes where the older folk could learn. We talk about the Silver Surfers, but the older folk could learn.
I think the computers would be useful for them.
Yeah.
Because it would get them a start before they actually got into them, wouldn't it?
Some people might not be able to get the internet and like afford it or something.
Yeah. And if you've got those things, it means that the centre's actually being used and it generates income, and the more it's used, the more it will be used.
That's it, and of course then you'll get one girl say, well, I've been going so and so, and then another one will probably go with them,
Start getting the older people interacting with the younger people, and then maybe, the older people might sort of understand the younger people more, and the younger people may understand the older people more, and it may get the whole community working together rather than pulling against each other all the time.
Yeah, you could get a 3G AstroTurf where you can play basketball, football, netball, everything, hockey.
There's not really nothing to do for girls.
Nothing at all? No. So what do you do over night time? Do you just stay in or do you just hang around?
I just hang around the station. I just sit in the bus shelters.
Sit in the bus shelters?
I would like to play like tennis or football, basketball, but you have to go all the way up to like the gym over the sports centre, and that's actually quite far away for us. We have a camera club, like quite a few people are doing photography in our school now, so we just introduced it. So contests, like little mini game contests.
Yeah. Table tennis.
Yeah, table tennis would be good.
We had like a little coffee bar for like drinks and stuff. And so we have like a little learning room as well for people that can't learn properly. Yeah, like a library. Darts, trampolines, I like trampolines, and gymnastics. We should do gymnastics. This can only be a karaoke night. We like karaoke night, yeah. And like we can have
tennis and table tennis and pottery.
They moan about when people like hanging around and everything, but if they see us having fun and that, then they understand what it's like.
There's no communication at all, and I think we need to start concentrating on building back the bridges that, as when I was a child, and I'm sure as when you were a child, you knew about all the different age groups and what the concerns were and how they felt and a little bit about their history. And
if they somehow
don't ask me how, mixed with us and vice versa. I know we're not attractive, but if we were more familiar with
come on, Pauline!
more
She
familiar
just keep putting you
with
down.
And one of the things the young people there want to do is a tea and mince pie evening and invite the residents along. You know, they want them to come along, they want them to be sort of part, they want to be able to sit and talk to them. But there is a gap where They don't know young how people to. think, oh, how do you talk to an older person? And older people think, oh, how do you talk to a young person?
But it's because we don't understand one another as families anymore, I think.
No, I think that's true.
Be it known this day, the residents of Tilling Green meet to discuss a community centre for this estate, and may God save England, this ancient town of Rye.
Breaks me heart to go by it, see it all boarded up.
I think it's disgusting to see it all boarded up.
It's very sad, isn't it?
It really is.
And Tilling Green is the biggest community in Rye, without doubt. There are more people live on Tilling Green than the rest of Rye put together, really. I mean, talking about old Rye people, yeah. And also another point that comes up really is when we have the general elections. We've always had that hole to go to vote. And now they're talking now that we've got to go over where the present school is, which is an awful long walk for some of the old people, and I don't think they'll just even bother.
Yeah, Whist drives, that's another thing, isn't it? Would encourage older people to go and get out. Otherwise, we sit indoors and rot.
To get people together, they come up with these sort of different ideas, don't they?
That's it, yeah.
And that's the community.
The idea of it.
Yes, I mean, they've got a big field over there.
That's what I mean, the field's already there.
Used for fetes and things like that, but we need this thing to bring us all together so that we've got that community spirit back, and we can all get together and
That's
perhaps...
it. The elderly people can go and have their cup of coffee in the afternoon, a cup of tea, like they used to.
Well, I'd asked the heads of house at the school if they would ask the people in their tutor groups how they feel a community centre might be of use on the estate. And we had some responses. One youngster said, I would like Tilling Green, meaning the school, to be made into a clubhouse or a youth centre where you can go and hang about, get away from home for a couple of hours, where you can have a drink and just chill out and play board games with your mates. This is the first place I've been where I've been on an estate, and there's been absolutely nothing in terms of community facilities.
That's it.
Which has really surprised me. Things, but
and it was so good because plenty of children on that estate to use that instead of getting them on a bus and off they go. I mean, you'd see them every morning there, their mums there taking them into school, like, and that's, well, it should be. I think so. Well, I don't know what I did with mine, come to think of it.
A lot of people from around here who I've spoken to, they've said that they'll be on board if there's anything to be signed, they'd sign it to help get the project up and going, and they're just camera shy. So.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've started the ball rolling, and we just hope that somebody takes it on board.
So let's have a community centre there. Let's just stick to what the place is. It's a nice building, built for the job almost, if you can think of it. A community centre, get on with it. Get on to the county council, everybody get on to the county council and say, look, we don't want to have school knocked down and houses built there, we want a community centre.